On Monday, September 15th, 2025, a truly unsettling aviation incident unfolded over Corsica. An Air Corsica flight from Paris-Orly to Ajaccio became the center of a bizarre and alarming story after the air traffic controller at Napoleon Bonaparte Airport reportedly fell asleep, leaving the arriving jet stranded in the night skies with no guidance. The aircraft, XK777, an Airbus A320neo registered FHXKJ, had already departed late from Paris at 22:46, nearly an hour behind schedule. As it descended from cruising altitude of 37,000 feet toward Ajaccio, the crew was suddenly confronted by an eerie sight. The runway lights, which should have been blazing across the black waters of the Mediterranean, were instead completely dark. The scene was surreal, almost cinematic. A jet gliding down over the sea toward a silent coastline, its beacon lights reflecting off the waves while the airport itself appeared to be asleep. The tower controller ceased responding to radio calls, reported 1 mile at a time. To the crew, it must have felt like approaching a ghost airport. An island destination with its guiding lights extinguished, communication cut off, and no sign of life from the tower. With no response, the pilots were forced into a holding pattern above the Gulf of Ajaccio, circling in the night sky for nearly 30 minutes. They desperately tried to reach the airport fire brigade and even called the local police, while simultaneously preparing for a diversion to Bastia, 56 miles away. It was only after this nerve-wracking standoff with silence that communication was re-established. The reason was as shocking as it was simple. The controller had fallen asleep. The flight eventually landed at Ajaccio at 00:35, about 70 minutes late. The implications are serious. Fatigue is one of the most insidious risks in aviation because it creeps up silently and can overwhelm even highly trained professionals. The issue is not confined to air traffic controllers. Pilots themselves have been caught by exhaustion. In 2013, the UK Civil Aviation Authority revealed that over half of surveyed pilots admitted to having fallen asleep at the controls at least once, with a third waking to find their co-pilot asleep too. In the US, the FAA has faced scrutiny after reports of lone overnight controllers falling asleep at smaller airports, prompting rules requiring at least 2 controllers on duty during certain hours. Airlines also fight fatigue with regulated duty hours, mandatory rest periods, and in the case of ultra-long haul flights, extra pilots who rotate in controlled rest shifts. Still, as the Ajaccio event shows, the system isn't foolproof. Perhaps the most dramatic parallel came in August 2022, when an Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737-800 operating flight ET-343 from Khartoum to Addis Ababa lost contact with air traffic control during its descent. Both pilots had fallen asleep at the same time. The aircraft's autopilot carried it along the approach path, overshooting the runway entirely while controllers frantically tried to raise the crew. The jet eventually continued on, still on autopilot, before the cockpit alarm sounded, jolting the pilots awake. They immediately initiated a second approach and landed safely, but the incident made headlines worldwide as a chilling demonstration of how fatigue can incapacitate an entire cockpit. That same year, another scare occurred on an ITA Airways transatlantic service when the captain became unresponsive, sparking fears of a hijacking before it was revealed to be fatigue-related. Each of these episodes drives home the same lesson. No matter how advanced modern aviation becomes, human vigilance remains the last line of safety. Bottom line, what happened in Ajaccio was not just a delay. It was a haunting reminder of how fragile aviation safety can feel when fatigue breaches the system. Between unlit runways, silent radios, and sleeping controllers, the scene could have been lifted from a thriller. Regulators now face renewed pressure to strengthen oversight, ensure fatigue protocols are airtight, and guarantee that moments like this remain rare exceptions, rather than warning signs of a larger problem. Stay tuned with us and follow on social media for the latest aviation developments. If you enjoyed this episode and want to stay up to date with the latest aviation news, history, and industry analysis, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We cover everything from the biggest aircraft in the skies to the latest airline developments, so you won't miss a thing. Hit that notification bell so you're first to know when new videos drop, and check out our other uploads for more stories just like this.